Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome to Over Under. Today I'm going to be discussing the uses of Smurf accounts in Overwatch and why they really have no place in a competitive matchmaking system like Overwatch. And this is inspired from a game that I had earlier. This is actually from quite some time ago, but it's been on my hard drive and I need to clear up these 60 gigabytes of space somehow, so we're going to make a video. So you'll notice in the opening sequence of the match we have a skill rating of 63 up against a skill rating of 59. Normally in my head, if this was like an organic match, I'd be thinking to myself, okay, this game should be fairly straightforward. These players are on paper lower skilled all around the board by a pretty convincing margin. If we win this game, we're not going to win too much in terms of MMR. If we lose it, we're probably going to lose quite a bit. So you don't want to lose these games, and generally you want to tend to avoid them. Like, in an ideal world, you want the matchmaking system to be completely fair. In the event that you lose or win, you win or lose that equal amount. But in Overwatch, that is not the case. If you are the underdog in the system, it will reward you heavily if you win, which only incentivizes such use of Smurf accounts more so than it would normally, even if it wasn't the case. So the reason why a Smurf account can, heavily distort the MMR system is because not only do you get that underdog system that gives you more MMR if you win, what ends up happening is that the players with a higher level of skill get access to games that they wouldn't normally have too much of a place in. If you're a skill rating of above 70, chances are, like, if the matchmaking is working as intended, it's going to be a fairly low chance that you find yourself in an MMR average of mid 50s or high 50s, low 60s. Normally you'd want to see yourself mid 60s, low 70s, mid 70s, in that sort of ballpark. But what the Smurf account does, it artificially just deflates the MMR of this group. So in this game, I'm playing solo queue. When I hit that matchmaking button, I am a skill rating of 68 in this instance, and that is that. When the matchmaking puts me into the queue, I'm a solo queue 68 just floating around the world. That is the matchmaking system. And what ends up happening is you take players that have these skill ratings of low 70s and you place them in a party that has a skill rating of 31. So what this does, it takes the average, right? It doesn't take the highest skill rated player and assign that MMR as their group rating. What it does, it grabs the average and it lowers it, because obviously the rank 31 player is not up at the average, so therefore it'll make it dip down quite a heavy amount. So instead of having a skill rating of low 70s, you obtain a skill rating of 58, which is ridiculous. A rank 74 player should not be technically in the queue as a high rank 50 player. It doesn't make sense. And the only reason why this is an issue is because people abuse the system. Like, obviously, in an ideal situation, nobody, makes any attempt at abusing this whatsoever for any personal gain. It allows players who are, rank 70 to play with their friends who maybe only just got the game or are just really bad at it. No offense, but that's not the case. That is not the case at all. And very rarely, these legitimate cases, rank 70 players with rank 30. Like, in a lot of cases, the rank 70 player doesn't want to be playing with somebody who's legitimately that lower of a ranking. If you're rank 70, chances are you take the game pretty seriously and you value the ranking that you've achieved. But this isn't one of those situations. This account I've come across multiple times. The lowest I've seen this Homebrands guy has been a rating of 22. Which is just insane. Like, on the surface, it looks like it only affects those in a skill rated, environment that is of a higher tier. But the reality is, this account and accounts like this account will be used indefinitely until they are either punished or they can no longer abuse the system to such a degree that they are now. Smurf accounts will always be a reality, no matter the situation. I think that's a pretty obvious fact. I don't want that to be a counterpoint to this video whatsoever. But the point is that the skill disparity that is allowed within the matchmaking party queue, it's just way too high. the rating difference is up to that of around 50 within, like, if you look at the matchmaking system within Overwatch as it stands currently, I think it's something like 95% of players sit between like 30 and 65, which is a skill rating difference of 35. Like, if you allow players who are 50 rankings different from one another to queue together when, you know, the overall skill ratings distribution is that tightly knit, it's just asking to be abused. And I feel like in Season 2 and moving forward, they have to address this. They cannot allow players who are, you know, extremely high skill rating to play with somebody who is even like mid-tier. I fear like anything over 5 or 10, like 10 levels, I fear maybe like the absolute maximum when it comes to party queuing. It's either that or adopt the mechanics within other games that make it so if you're in a group system, the highest rated player assumes the group rating average. And if it, like, that seems like a pretty harsh way to do it, but it also makes it so it's impossible to abuse the system that is currently in place. But let me know what you guys think. How should this be addressed in the future? Should Blizzard take action, or should there be no action taken whatsoever? Let me know your thoughts on this situation. It's messy, man, and there's no concrete way to make this right. There's no way to make it perfect, but there's definitely ways to make it better. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And anyway, we'll wrap up the first video of the channel. Hopefully enjoyed it. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.